Something happened at Gainbridge Fieldhouse on Saturday night that the Indiana Fever and the WNBA cannot spin, cannot explain away, and cannot pretend did not happen. The fans stayed home, not all of them, but enough that the upper deck was completely empty. Enough that entire sections throughout the building sat vacant. Enough that tickets were available for $15 at tip-off and thousands of seats still went unsold. The Indiana Fever played the Los Angeles Sparks without Caitlin Clark, and the building that has been one of the loudest, most electric arenas in women's basketball history told them exactly how it felt about that. Clark herself showed up. She was there in the building, signing autographs, meeting fans. The footage of her doing that, empty sections visible in every direction behind her, is the image that defines everything that happened Saturday night. The most important player in the history of this league was signing autographs in front of empty seats at her own home arena, and every person who left those seats empty did it on purpose. If you have been following this season and you already know why this happened, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications right now, because what these empty seats represent goes much further than one game. Let's establish what triggered all of this. Clark absorbed a fist to the neck from Alyssa Thomas on Wednesday night. The official standing on the baseline did not call it. Clark kept playing. A landing space foul later in the same game put her back at risk. She left in the third quarter and did not return. Indiana lost 111 to 109. The WNBA reviewed the Thomas incident and handed down a one-game suspension. One game. And the Indiana Fever issued a 3-sentence statement. And then fans across the country made a decision. Yahoo Sports ran a dedicated article about it. The Spun covered it. The mainstream sports media noticed what was building before tip-off even happened on Saturday. Here's what fans were actually saying in the hours before the game. One fan posted, "It's going to be less than half. I, for one, will not watch any game till Caitlin is back." Another wrote, "Boycott the WNBA and let the sponsors and TV execs feel the heat." A third, "Every Fever and CC fan needs to boycott any game that doesn't include Caitlin Clark. Send emails, tag their sponsors." And then Dave Portnoy, whose reach goes well beyond the WNBA fan base, posted 4 words that became the rallying cry for everything that followed. No Clark, no party. These were not isolated comments from fringe accounts. These were verified, widely shared posts that mainstream outlets were covering before the opening tip. The boycott was real, and Saturday's building proved it. Clark showed up anyway. She was there in the arena, not in uniform, greeting fans and signing autographs before the game. And the footage of that moment tells the whole story better than any attendance number could. Behind her, empty sections. Above her, an empty upper deck. The player who transformed this franchise from 4,000 fans a game into must-see television was standing in her own building, surrounded by the evidence of what this organization's choices have cost. She did not say anything about it publicly. She did not have to. The empty seats said everything. Now let's talk about why the boycott extends beyond just one bad game. Because the fans who stayed home on Saturday were not reacting to one incident. They were reacting to a pattern that has been building all season. The foul disparities. The technical foul for clapping. The failed challenge that left Clark with a 5th technical after Jordan Canada slipped and fell. The organization's muted response when Thomas put a fist to her neck. The 3-sentence statement from the GM. The delayed Twitter announcement that kept fans buying tickets and booking flights without knowing Clark would not play. Every single one of those things happened in isolation from the others. And fans put them all together on Saturday and decided the seats were better left empty. And then something happened that added an entirely new layer to the story. Nate Tibbetts, the general manager of the Phoenix Mercury, the team whose player just got suspended for putting a fist to the neck of the most watched player in this league, decided Saturday was the right moment to go public with his defense of Alyssa Thomas. He said, "We would like to let At know that she is 100% supported by us. The people in this league know who AT is. She's a competitor, she's a winner, and she's tough. The one thing she is not is cheap. I respect Steph White. I understand her sticking up for Caitlin in this situation, but to say that we had 2 cheap shots in that game is ridiculous. This was not a thorough investigation in my opinion. The people involved were not questioned at all. No one from the league called our security team or myself about what we felt happened in this situation. That is the general manager of the Phoenix Mercury describing a player who put her fist into Caitlin Clark's neck while Clark was on the ground with the ball nowhere near the play. Not cheap. Tibbetts went further and questioned the entire suspension process, saying the investigation was not thorough because nobody from the league called the Mercury before handing down the punishment. The league had video. The league had multiple camera angles. The league had Stephanie White's post-game press conference where she called it egregious and utterly disrespectful and a fist in the throat. And Tibbetts' argument is that the suspension is unfair because nobody called him first. Clark is sitting out more than a week with a back injury. Thomas got 1 game off. And the Mercury's GM went on camera to say his player is 100% supported. Now let's talk about what the empty seats on Saturday actually mean for the bigger picture. Because this is where the story stops being about one game and starts being about the entire financial structure of women's basketball.
Now a message can be sent to 2 separate parties tonight. One party to the WNBA because fans not watching on TV, Indiana Fever don't care about that. They don't care about that. The WNBA cares about that. Because if fans aren't watching on TV, their broadcast networks cares about that. And if the broadcast networks care, if they care, well, when it's time to renegotiate the new media deal, they're not going to be so willing to fork up money for these WNBA games. So if people don't watch tonight, that's going to hit the WNBA's pockets. Now, if people don't show up to the game, if tickets aren't being sold, that's going to hurt the Indiana Fever's pockets. You got attendance, you got parking, you got merchandise, you got food and beverage. If people don't show up, the Indiana Fever's pockets will be hurting.
Attendance, parking, merchandise, food and beverage, television ratings, media deal renegotiations. The fans who stayed home Saturday were not just making a statement about one game. They were pulling on the financial thread that holds this entire operation together. Peacock, NBC, Amazon Prime. Every broadcast partner that signed a deal with the WNBA did so with Clark's name attached to the value of that deal. The league's television audience has grown dramatically since Clark entered the league, and every network executive knows exactly why. When Clark does not play and fans do not show up, and they do not tune in, the broadcast networks notice. And the next time those deals come up for renegotiation, those networks are going to remember what Saturday looked like. Empty upper decks. $15 tickets going unsold. A franchise that previously drew 16,000 to 17,000, with Clark trending toward empty sections in her absence. The Indiana Fever won the game against the Sparks. Kelsey Mitchell scored 26 points. The team played well enough to get the result, but nobody in the building was there for the result. The fans who did show up showed up for Clark. The fans who stayed home for Clark. The empty seats belong to Clark. This entire building, this entire franchise, this entire conversation exists because of one player who the organization just watched absorb a fist to the neck and responded with 3 sentences and a 1-week silence before officially confirming she would not play. And on Saturday, the fans who built this atmosphere with their money and their presence and their energy sent the message that the organization apparently needs to hear. Clark is expected to miss more than a week. Her next opportunity to return comes July 5th. The building that was half empty on Saturday will be completely different if she walks back through that tunnel. It always is. The seats fill up. The energy returns. The league becomes must-see television again. And then the question will be the same one it has been all season. What is this organization willing to do to make sure that when Clark is back on that floor, the people responsible for protecting her are actually doing their jobs? Because Saturday proved beyond any remaining doubt that the fans know the answer to that question, and they are no longer willing to pretend otherwise. What do you think? Did the fans send the right message by boycotting Saturday's game? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, because we will have full coverage of Clark's return and everything that follows. We will see you in the next one.